Hi everybody. I've gotten several calls reference to my video reference to bullying, and I have been made aware that since 2015 that Ironton high schools Ironton High School and Ironton schools have had an active policy where the student tells the teacher, and the teacher immediately responds with the counselor. So I was so glad to hear that from a very dear friend of mine that is retired. Also, I will be doing more about that because 60% of the people that are bullied are children, 40% are adults. So you can be bullied in several ways, okay? If you're a child, and somebody, instead of, now I might rant and rave here, and, you guys are used to that by now. But anyway, kids nowadays, and I understand parents giving them a gaming device or a iPad or whatever. I understand that. But today I saw a young boy on a bicycle, and he had a big virtual thing on, big white virtual thing on. Now, I don't do all that virtual stuff, but what I've been told, that, it can lead you down a certain path, but, some of these young children might get the wrong idea and just get on their bike and think that they're actually in that video, oh, mercy. Excuse me, been out in the leaves all day. Anyway, I will be continuing about the bullying. I'm also going to be continuing. I know I say I'm always going to be. But, here's one thing I learned in politics and in being a police officer. Don't guarantee you're going to do something unless you know you can achieve that. So when I say I'm going to be doing, that means I can't tell you when I'm going to be doing it. I will do that simply at my time to do it, okay? Such as this. Okay, so anyway, so I'll be talking in depth about the elderly and not only the neglect, but let me tell you something. If you are blessed enough to have your mother or father in your life, I'm telling you, you're blessed. You're blessed. So I have been to several nursing homes. I talked to so many people. Don't have no family to come visit them. Don't have anything. They used to have bingo, and then I heard they didn't at one facility. Just things like that. But if you go to Bethris.com, you'll see that I'm an advocate for human rights, and that includes so many different things. I just recently added advocacy for children with autism. So on my website, it's under construction, but it will be, excuse me, it will be discussed. One more thing here. You talk about, just like the recent tragedy of Chase Sizemore passing, bring about all kinds of rumor and innuendo and propaganda and all kinds of things that everybody said that this is what happened and that's what happened. Well, I understand that. I just want to explain one thing, and Police Academy teaches you if you go to the right one. And they didn't come up with cultural sensitivity until early 90s. Are these officers being taught, mandated to take these courses on cultural sensitivity? But anyway, back to the the elderly. Oh man, I mean, you don't realize about the elderly until it affects your family. Like I said, walking through nursing homes and talking to the elderly, and some of them some of them don't want to say anything. They just want to hold your hand. So if you've got a mother or a father alive, I know you're busy. But if you're too busy for somebody that raised you, give birth to you, raised you, taught you everything, and your life is totally their reward. They did that for you. So if you don't have time to go by your parents' house or your grandparents' house, you're missing out on so much. Because I tell you what, I would sit down with somebody over 70. I don't care, 13, 14, anyway. I would rather sit down with somebody elderly that could tell me wise things about the past, not documented in books, not brought to us by a news reporter, and we're supposed to believe everything they say. Somebody said to me today, Republicans don't believe anything Democrats do. Well, Democrats don't believe anything Republicans do. So, there you have it. So it's kind of, and, I don't want to get off on politics. But anyway, my mom, when I was young, she'd be sewing at the sewing machine, and she would make our clothes, and, she'd have newspapers on the floor, and she'd say, lay down, and she would draw, which later in my career as a police officer, she would draw that line in the newspapers and make us a pair of jeans or a dress or anything. And I hated those dresses. But anyway, so she used to be sewing, and she'd say, go get that mayonnaise. So I'd go in the kitchen, and I'd get the mayonnaise. And a lot of you youngsters probably don't know what this means, but I used to rub mayonnaise or Miracle Whip in her hair and massage her head while she was sewing. And I always thought that was so fun, because it's like today's kids' goop, that slime stuff. The mayonnaise was a lot more fun. And but anyway, stop by anybody's house. Go door to door, and not because you're running for anything, not because you are told to. Do it because you want to. Just stop and sit and talk to people and listen to them. Just listen to them. Some of the stories I have been told wasn't about the sheriff, or wasn't about any police officers, or wasn't about anything like that. It was talking about the farm and the goats and the horses and the, it was just a life lesson in somebody that's lived a different time. I'm not going to believe the politicians or the books. I'm going to believe the person telling me the story. Excuse me. Anyway, tonight we went to Callahans here in Ironton on 3rd Street. Great food, great people, great service. I posted those pictures of what we got there at Callahans, and I did order that big, huge plate of food, but that huge plate of food was $24. Okay, so I can eat on that for 2 days, and the chef don't have to cook. Anyway, it's a great atmosphere, and if you can, take your family, your children. I've seen toddlers come in there, and it's a great environment. It's old 70s, 80s music, and there's no fighting or drunkenness or anything like that. So if you can, go to Callahans here on 3rd Street, where Frogtown used to be, which I loved Frogtown. I miss it, but Callahans is a totally different environment. It's just everybody's nice. Nobody's screaming and hollering, and you don't have to put money in a jukebox to hear a song. It's free. So anyway, check out my Facebook, the pictures of the food that we got tonight, and we go there a lot. So, Tal, I just met your wife tonight, and thank you for bringing that to Ironton. And we love it there, and I would love to talk with you more extensively than we did the other day. But it was so nice being there tonight. So anyway, I'm going to end this video with one more thing. And yes, I skip around a lot, because I want to. What are you going to do? Call the police. Anyway, I skip around a lot. So here's what I'm going to end with. In the academy, like I started to say earlier, the instructor tells the person on the end about a certain crime scene. Okay? Okay. The instructor says it, and I think this is the best thing ever in the academy, because it teaches you about statements you get from people. But anyway, the instructor whispered in the person on the end of the room's ear and told him all about what a crime scene was, and said, there was this there, the gun was here, the blood was here, the footprints were here, blood splatter, etc. Just all kinds of things. And then that person that the instructor told it to had to whisper that in the person next to him. Okay? So by the time it got around, and it was so forth and so on, you whisper what you just retained from the instructor, and you tell that same thing to the person sitting next to you. It's how that person comprehends what you're saying. Are they listening? Are they taking it all in? Are they looking at the instructor thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? So anyway, then what they say, what they get in their head, they whisper to the next person. So this went on and on and on for like 19 people. And so then the instructor, and I have to give him credit, I enjoyed him, got up there and he told everybody in the class what he had told the first person. And then he asked the last person to get up and say what he had retained from the 18 other people. And what he had to say was, totally different. When you describe a crime scene like the instructor did to the first person, and it's just how when you tell one thing to someone, they tell some other version of there's no versions of the truth. There's no versions of the truth. So when you tell somebody something, you got to think about what you're saying before you say it, because then they change the whole entire story to fit their agenda. I know you understand what I'm saying. Excuse me. They will turn it around to fit their agenda. Haters don't gather together and party and hang out just because they're friends. They do it because they have something in common with you. If you don't like a certain person, boom, you got a group. If you love a certain person, you got another group. But just and I always say it, you can repeat it, whatever. And I'm just saying, with that being said, take care of your elderly, take care of your kids, take care of your animals, take care of yourself. There's a lot to be determined about self-love and self-care. So, I will be finishing my book soon, and it is called The Warrior Within Us. It's not about me. It's called The Warrior Within Us. Us being all. Everybody have a good day today. I think it's going to rain, but if you have any questions, continue to email me at my email that you already have. And still unclear at this point in time whether they're going to allow me to run for sheriff. But I have my signatures, so I'm going to wait, and we'll see what happens. And regardless of what happens, like I said in the video the other day, they can't prevent me from private investigation. So we'll see how that goes. Okay? So everybody have a wonderful day. God bless. Beth Rist, Ironton, Ohio, Lawrence County, Ohio.